Kunja Bihar Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira
Yamuna Tiravanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihar
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihar
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare Rama
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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav
Jaya
Jaya
Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav
Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai
Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Gopala Dev, Jaya Gopala Dev.
Gopala Dev Jaya Gopala Dev
Jaya Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jagannath.
Jaya
Jaya
Jaya Jagannath 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 Jagannath
Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadrama.
Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Jaya Sri Pada, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Sri Pada Jaya Gurudeva
Jaya Jaya Sri Pad, Sri Pad, Sri Pad,
Jaya Jaya Sri Pad Sri Pad Sri Pad Sri Pad
जय गुरु महाराज श्रील श्रीपाद की जय। जय
Jai
जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय
Jai
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।
Jai
हरे कृष्ण। So today we are reading from the Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 19, 20 and 21. The chapter is entitled Diti vows to kill King Indra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayam Budhiraye
Tato Jayamudire
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Tyam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke
Bhagavate Uttamam Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
So this is verse number 19. Marutasya dite putras
Marutascha dite putras
Chatvarimshannavadikaha
चत्वारिंशन्नवाधिकः
Tasanna praja sarve
तासन्ना प्रजाः सर्वे
Nita indrena satmatam.
नीता इन्द्रेण सात्मताम्.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The 49 Marut demigods were also born from the womb of Diti. None of them had sons. Although they were born of Diti, King Indra gave them a position as demigods. Purport by Prabhupada. Apparently, even demons can be elevated to positions as demigods when their atheistic character is reformed. There are two kinds of men throughout the universe. Those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are called demigods, and those who are just the opposite are called as demons. Even the demons can be transformed into demigods as the statement of this verse proves. Text number 20. Shri Raja Vacha Katam Tasuram Bhavam Apohyotpattikam Guru Indrena Prapita Satmyam Kim Tat Sadhu Kritam Hitai. Translation. King Parikshit inquired, "My dear Lord, due to their birth, the 49 Maruts must have been obsessed with a demoniac mentality. Why did Indra, the king of heaven, convert them into demigods? Did they perform any rituals or pious activities?" Text number 21. Ime shraddhate brahman rishayo hi maya saha parigyanaya bhagavam tanno vyakyatum. My dear Brahmana, I and all the sages present with me are eager to know about this. Therefore, O great soul, kindly explain to us the reason. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarupdamodar Swaminiti Namine Nama Sadbhaktamanaye Manipurudbhavaya Cha Prabhupada Satvani Prachara Niratayate Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatade Satare Vancha Kalpatarurvyasya Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamana Tam Namami Harim Param Sansara Sagare Magnam Dinam Mam Karunanidhe Karmagrahya Grihitangam Mam Uddhara Pavarnavat Srimad Bhagavatam Akyoyam Pratyaksha Krishna Evahi Svikritosi Mayanata Mukyartam Bhavasagare Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmacharanam Satam Vedyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parairishwara Sadyo Hridaya Varutyate Atra Kritibi Shushrushubhi Tatshana. So these verses are showing the great master plan by Mother Diti, who is one of the wives of Kashyap Muni, how she is trying to kill her sister's son, her nephew, King Indra, Devindra. And generally, ladies, when they make plans to kill, they have their own group with whom they discuss. Generally the other family members, they don't know about these things. But here you see, Diti is going directly up to her husband and she's asking her own husband, I want to kill Indra, so you tell me how I can go about doing that. all the while forgetting that Kashyap Muni is also the father of Devendra. He is also one of his sons. So you see the feminine nature, right? But more interesting than that is this fact that these children who were born, the 49 Maruts, because the mother is like this, the mother's mentality is that these children should be born so that they kill Indra. So it's a very demoniac mentality, trying to destroy somebody, trying to destroy the opposition so that they can be happy. But, the others, they should be, fully demolished. So with this kind of mentality, how is that these 49 Maruts, who should also have been born like that, because she was, she was conceiving with this explicit purpose of producing children to kill Indra. How is that these people, they became demigods? And the question is, why did Indra also convert them into demigods? Did they do something, special? Did they do any special ceremony or, any kind of pious activities that even Indra, he was also hell-bent on killing this child, was within the womb. Otherwise, the child would destroy him. So why did Devendra change his mind? That these children, how can they be converted into demigods? So this is the thing. So this one devotee was come from a nearby temple here, and we were discussing yesterday. I was asking him, you see, in the Bhagavatam, actually in the very first canto, Narad Muni is mildly rebuking our Vyasdev, who is the author of this Bhagavad Puran, that, my dear Prabhu, you have, people are so much inclined to sense gratification in the material world, and you have so conveniently delineated all that in the Vedic literatures, kind of like encouraging them to, go ahead with all that. So instead of doing that, you have not written anything directly, about the absolute truth. Why don't you present the supreme absolute truth, Satyam Param? Why don't you present that directly? Why don't you do that? Instead of going around like this, so many things. Why don't you go directly to the center? It's chastising. So then, Vyasdev is sitting in full meditation, and then he is visualizing the Supreme Lord. He is in Samadhi. He is able to see the Supreme Personality. He is able to see the Maya Shakti. And after having direct vision of the Lord, he is then writing down this Bhagavatam, which is, like Prabhuji was singing yesterday very nicely. Nigama kalpa taror ghalitam phalam. Completely ripened fruit of the Vedic tree, the green or the essence of all the Vedas. So one only subject matter against each other. This is like mundane Gramya Katha. Why is the Bhagavatam dealing with all these things? Rather than speaking about Krishna, glorifying directly his pastimes, why do we have to, see all these things? And especially, why do we have to deal with all these demons? The demoniac mentality. So you see, this question I asked at Prabhuji, and Prabhuji was saying, Bhagavatam is dealing with absolute truth, right? So absolute truth means, it covers everything. Talking about the absolute truth, there is nothing which is beyond the absolute truth. So this, like I used to always say, the spirituality is able to accommodate everything. And he gave, further point that unless we understand these demons, this demoniac mentality, unless we are able to, uh, because each of these demons, they represent one particular kind of bad quality, like somebody is personified lust, somebody is personified anger, somebody is like, the prominent quality is personified envy, somebody is personification of greed, somebody is pride, arrogance, like this. These people are personifying that. So unless we know how to deal with these things, If we are to get out from the material world, unless we have some shining examples how these people have been dealt with, how can we achieve the absolute? So this is a very valid question. So that is why the Bhagavatam is progressing in stages. See, the Bhagavatam is not only for Paramahamsas or, like Kunti Maharani is saying, Tata Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam. People who are, very thoughtful people, Muninam Amalatmanam. Amalatmanam means somebody who is very pure, whose intentions are always very pure. Paramahamsanam, the most topmost swan-like devotees of the Lord. The Bhagavatam is not only for them, but the Bhagavatam is also for people who are not just bad, but like totally bad, like completely demoniac. They have no good intention, no goodwill. Their only goal is sense gratify at any cost, destroy other opposition. Typical, political behavior. Before the opposition can even think, even come out with a project, let me finish them. This kind of mentality. So the Bhagavatam is very nice in that sense that people, even with these kind of very low grade mentality, they are accommodated there. And then, you can gradually see how they are reformed or they are transformed from this kind of mentality to, the perfect mentality. Perfect consciousness is consciousness, Krishna consciousness, what we call Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. The opposite of that, it doesn't matter, like, the story about this thief who was brought in front of Alexander the Great, and he accused him. The thief said, you're trying to punish me because I am a small thief, but you are a bigger thief. You simply go to different countries, you plunder people, you grab all the wealth, and what right you have to accuse me and punish me? You're just a big thief. And Alexander, he accepted that and he let him go. So whether it is Kira Chor or Hira Chor, Chor is Chor. If somebody is a robber, whether he is stealing a small thing, a small cucumber, or he is stealing a big diamond, he's still a thief. So any mentality, which is away from Krishna consciousness, it doesn't matter if it is, little bad, very, very bad, or, the worst kind of mentality. It is different. It is something completely. So there may be different grades, but whatever grade you are in, whatever opposite mentality you may be having, or you're aspiring to change, the Bhagavatam accommodates all these people. This is a beauty of the Bhagavatam. That's why we say Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Simply by rendering this service to the Bhagavatam, to the Bhagavat Puran, and Mahabhagavatas who personify this Bhagavatam, this Grantha Bhagavatam. There are two Bhagavatas, the Mahabhagavatas or the devotee Bhagavatas, and then there is a Grantha Bhagavata, the Bhakta Bhagavata and the Grantha Bhagavata. By simply rendering service, even simply seeing the Bhagavatas or, giving oral reception to the Bhagavatam, one is able to have this reformation in the mentality. Prabhupada used to call this a transformation of the heart. Your heart becomes transformed. It's a gradual process. It's not like overnight, abruptly, that one is able to all of a sudden become a nice devotee, very pure devotee, fully Krishna conscious. It takes time, but the Bhagavatam is nudging us, is guiding us in that direction. You please go, and it is giving all these examples. See, the stepmother Diti is planning to kill Indra, and she's consulting her husband, a husband who is the father of that Indra, one of his other sons. So actually, Indra is a nephew. It's all within the family, right? So her perspective is that my children should survive; they should be destroyed. The same way, like Dhritarashtra was thinking, Mamaka, my children, and Pandavas, Pandu's children. He's not thinking they're also my children. For the king, the king, this entire praja, the whole subjects, all of them are supposed to be his children. Actually, he's supposed to treat them very nicely, equally. But instead, he's saying Mamaka, my sons, Duryodhan, Kauravas, and Pandus, the other person's sons. You see. So this Bhed Bhav, this difference, This difference, that thinking that these things, they don't belong to us, this doesn't belong to us, or you go to the higher perspective, if none of these things, they belong to Krishna, if you start thinking like that, then, it's a terribly horrible, wrong mentality. This is not the proper mentality. Nirbandhe, Krishna Sambandhe, everything. Everything can be somehow or the other dovetailed, even if it is a worse category thing, you can still purify it, you can reform it, and still that thing can be engaged in the service of the Lord. Narad Muni was actually glorifying these demons. You see the irony. You see the pure devotee's vision actually. Narad Muni was glorifying these demons who we think are so horrible, right? Narad Muni was saying the intensity of their feelings towards the Lord. Some of them, they hate the Lord like anything. The intensity of their anger, the intensity of that destructive mentality towards the Lord is so strong. I wish I had that kind of intensity in my love towards the Supreme Lord. I don't have that. You see his thinking. Even from the negative side, this rascal is trying to destroy the Lord. He is trying to kill the Lord. But still, Narad Muni is putting a positive perspective on that. And Narad Muni is saying, I wish I had that kind of intensity in my loving devotion to the Lord. I don't have that kind of intensity. They are so one-pointed, one-minded, one-focused that somehow or other, I will destroy the Lord. Their anger is so much, against the Lord. I wish I had that kind of intensity. So that's why, the Bhagavatam, the absolute truth, doesn't exclude anybody. So here, our Parikshit Maharaj is naturally inquiring, right? That I and all these sages, we are very curious. You please explain, how these people who are born with a specific purpose of killing Indra, how is that, Indra not only, accepted them, but also he converted them to demigods, upgradation. How did he bring them from this demoniac mentality into this wonderful, demigod mentality? How is this possible? And in the very first verse, Prabhupada is saying, there are these two kinds of men throughout the universe. Deva, Asura, Evacha. Daubhuta Sargau Lokesmin, Deva Asura, Evacha. Devo Visarasha Prokta, Asuram Partha Nation. So Guru Maharaj, he was telling, it was when we were in Manipur, this is the starting of the millennium, I think around 2000, that new temple was being opened in Manipur, Radha Krishna Chandra Mani Mandir, very beautiful temple. And Guru Maharaj was, all the many, like more than 60, 70 brahmacharis had come, all the devotees, they had come from Bhubaneswar for the grand inauguration. So Maharaj was saying, because you see, there's a complete change from, the environment in Bhubaneswar, and Manipur is out in the hills. It's a totally different culture. It's a completely different, environment. So because of this change, there were frequent bickerings, among the devotees, because it's not so easy to adjust. And they didn't have so many facilities also in Manipur at that time. So Maharaj, one day, he called a meeting, and all of us were there. Nearly, I think 100 or 150 devotees were there, all of us, practically. And Maharaj was saying that, why don't you every day read the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this divine and demoniac qualities. And then Maharaj was saying, you see how far you are developing the divine traits, and you see how far you have this demoniac mentality. And, as far as possible, you try to give up this demoniac mentality and try to develop the divine qualities. I remember long back when I was in the bus in the traveling Sankirtan in Bombay, we used to go around, that bus party leader would say this thing. Every day you see if you're giving up one bad thought. He used to say this. Any bad thought would crops up, I just want to beat this person, I want to yell at this person, even if it is a small thing. He said, every day you try to give up one bad thought, you see, by the end of the life, you will become a very nice devotee. He was saying this. And it's so difficult. It's so difficult to do these things. But somehow, by the blessings of the devotees and by the blessings of Lord, Supreme Lord, who's a father, who's a well-wisher, and the eternal friend of all the living entities, somehow we have this hope that one day, we can be, in Krishna consciousness, we can achieve the status of being a real devotee, a pure devotee of the Lord, not mixed, not with other intentions, a legitimate devotee, a bona fide devotee of the Lord. So these two category of people are always there, Deva, Asura, Eva. And then Vishnu Bhakta, those who are uh, devotees of Lord Vishnu, Bhave Deva, they are considered the demigods, and Asuras Tat Viparya. And those who are Asura, Sura and Asura. Sura is the demigods, those who are following Lord Vishnu, those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu Asya Devata, Iti Deva. This is what they say. Somebody who has accepted Lord Vishnu as the supreme, and the predominating deity, those are the devatas of Suras. And then the Asuras, that the opposite. They accept some other demigods, or they accept some common people, some powerful person, or something like that. But they don't accept the supreme God. These people are Asuras. Deva Asura Evacha, and then Lord Krishna is saying, Deva Vistarasa Prokta Asuram Partha Meshram. I've listed all the divine qualities. Arjuna, you have all these divine qualities, but now you listen to me about the asuric qualities. So in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna is highlighting all these bad qualities. In Tamil, we have a saying. It's called Kalavum Katru Mara. Kalavu means to steal. Thief. Katra, you learn it. It is saying you learn how to steal and then you forget. Mara means you forget it. The idea is not to steal. The idea is that you should know actually even the negative side, because if somebody is stealing that, then you should be able to deal with that person appropriately. This is the point. Not that it is recommended you go steal and then you get punished, thrown in jail. No. The thing is that you should at least know, because if somebody else is stealing from you or from some other person, you shouldn't be, ignorant. Oh, I'm so innocent, like that. You cannot pretend or claim like that. So sometimes it is good to know all these bad qualities, so that whenever any of these qualities come in us and somebody is pointing out, Prabhu, you are becoming too arrogant now. Cool down, control yourself. Sadhu, savdhan, be little careful. If somebody is pointing out this, then, if that person is really inclined to advance in spiritual life, he will accept that. The same way, like Chitraketu is accepting, okay, you have cursed me to be a demon, Mother Parvati, I will accept. And simply this one quality, raises that person's status. Immediately, it elevates that person. The Lord becomes so happy. Why? Because he is cooperating. He's not making the situation worse by counter cursing, and then it's a never-ending story. I slap you, you slap me, and then we keep on doing this left and right. And then the father and mother will be sitting, oh, big headache. These children are fighting. So this cooperative spirit, the Lord appreciates that very much. The Lord appreciates this cooperative spirit. There may be so many differences of opinion, like everybody may have their own ideas how they can engage in Krishna consciousness, how they can progress in spiritual life. Everything is welcome if it is legitimate, if it is bona fide, if it is accepted. Then yes, your ideas are most welcome. But while we are trying to execute these ideas, our individual ideas, if there is no cooperation, then it becomes a disaster. Prabhupada is always making the statement, we have love in ourselves. All of us, we are born to love, love and serve. This is a natural tendency, or the dharma, the constitutional position of the living entity. Nobody can be without that. When you are doing some service, it's because you have some love there in your heart that you're able to do that. You're able to overcome all these things and render that service. Love, the practical application of love is the service. So unless one has that loving tendency, it is very difficult. We all have that propensity. But the thing is that we don't know where to center that love. This is what Prabhupada was saying. It's like, people are there, different people, they are all throwing stones in a pond. And the stone is hitting in different parts of the surface of the lake. So something which is very calm, you see, if you throw a stone, immediately there will be ripples coming out, spreading from there like that. So somebody is throwing in one part, somebody is throwing in another part. You see the ripples which form, they will come and they will clash. You can see that, right? There will be a clash. So when this clash happens, the whole water becomes little turbulent. But if everybody finds a proper center and if you're able to put it in that exact place, you see that waves will become so smooth and so nice, and it'll magnify the effect of that. The ripples which are coming out, they'll become so beautifully formed. So this is the thing, how to find the center, and the Bhagavatam is talking about the center. How to make these people go towards sound can destroy so many big buildings also. It's practically seen. You have this ultrasound or very focused, concentrated sound. You aim it at a building, you see it can shatter the building completely destroy the building. Now, what to speak about transcendental sound? It not only goes inside and shatters all these demoniac qualities within the heart, but at the same time, it changes the heart of the person to something very wonderful, something very appealing, something that even the demons appreciate. Oh, this is such a saintly person. That's why devotees like Narad Muni, when they go to a demon's place, even the demons they welcome. They're so much against God, but when they see some devotee like Narad Muni, they become so, so appreciating. Oh, he's a well-wisher. So how to come to this status? How to become transformed like this? This is what the Bhagavatam is encouraging, guiding. And then there is this last point about how, this, if you actually want your, atheistic character, or you want your, whatever non-Krishna conscious behavior, consciousness you have, if you want that to change, then, my recommendation, besides, the chanting and, all the positive things, is to, as far as possible, delay sense gratification. Generally, we have this tendency to procrastinate. Like, get up for Mangalarati, oh Prabhu, tomorrow morning I will do it, please. Chant your 16 rounds in Brahma Murta, oh Prabhu, please. All the good things we like to postpone, tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes, actually. This is a fact. Tomorrow never comes. But we like to postpone. But as soon as it is sense gratification, immediately, we're all enthusiastic. We jump up and then, we are so much eager to do it. Right? So this... if you Actually, somebody is calling me. So it's because of that it is getting cut. It's not because of the net. So you can delay sense gratification, it becomes very wonderful. So although So, although our Diti is approaching Kashyap Muni to kill the other children of Kashyap Muni, still Kashyap Muni is accommodating. He's saying, okay, chalo. It's a very nice plan you have. But you see, they trick. He's such a nice person, nice sage. He's accommodating his wife's, unnecessary desires also. But then by tricking her, you do this nice Vaishnav ritual, be very clean, be very pure and this and that, and then you can finally achieve your target. But the thing is that by following this procedure, she gradually, she also becomes purified. And the child who is born, the child also, because, it was a Vaishnava vrata that she was keeping, Indra also, he upgraded them into demigods. These Marutgan, these 49 Maruts, who are supposed to be storm gods, they are wind gods, they are attendants of Indra. So Indra's Meghavahana, he travels on the clouds and he causes rain. So these 49 Maruts are storm gods like wind, they go around with very nice shining golden armor and with lances or spears in their hand. And they cause this lightning and all these, different kinds of winds. They control these 7 kinds of airs and they accompany him. So you see, Kashyap Muni is accommodating, he's tricking her. Okay, you do this Vaishnava ceremony, and then Indra is also, he has to take up the role to go kill the child, and he becomes a humble servant and he's serving his aunt very nicely. But ultimately, you see, both of them, they get upgraded, they become reformed. Diti forgives Indra, and these 49 people, they upgraded to demigods. And because the demigods are always successful, because they have the support of Lord Krishna. So, time is up. Huh? What happened?
Yeah, time.
Yeah, I'm just ending. So, if you bring Krishna into your life, if you bring the Bhagavatam, you bring the devotees into your life, you see your life will become successful. So, I think I'll wind up here. Prabhuji's, I generally try to cut it short, but thank you very much for your patient listening. Are there any questions, any suggestions, any comments? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you for this wonderful class. Yeah, so I really like that point. Like our scriptures are having instructions for all kinds of people or all kinds of living entities, and yeah, so we should be intelligent enough to take which one into consideration, or which should be our priority. Yeah. Okay. So, anyone would like to ask any question regarding today's class? They can raise the hand and ask His Grace Mother Manohar Prabhuji. Let's go in Maharaji, please. And sorry, yesterday I haven't seen it. I was in hurry to leave.
I can understand.
Dandavat Maharaj, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
Well, the thing is that in our this Bhagavad culture, this discussion is always healthy, and so nobody was coming forward. I somehow push myself to come into so that some discussion continues. Very nice point through, but you described that the nature of Srimad Bhagavatam is absolute. But apparently we find subjects described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes one wonders why this is in Bhagavatam and all these things, correct? So just as Sanatan Prabhu said that Bhagavatam is a message for everyone.
பத்மா எங்க அம்மா தான் கீழே இருக்காங்க. யார் அனுப்பி வச்சாங்க உங்களை? சம்பத் அண்ணா தானே? ஒரு நிமிஷம் உட்காருங்க. கிளாஸ்
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Maharaj, you can continue.
Conversation.
கொஞ்சம் ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம் உட்காருங்க.
So So apparently, when many subject matters are discussed,
Yeah.
and Shukdev Goswami is replying the questions asked by Parikshit Mahajan. Sometimes questions he asks are one wonders that someone who is to leave his body in 7 days. Why so many questions he's asking which are not apparently directly Krishna Katha?
Yeah. Yeah, Maharaj. Yes. Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
from Sanatan Prabhu's questions point of view, as if Srimad Bhagavatam is message for everybody, or Srimad Bhagavatam is ultimately or absolutely one message for everybody. Means, so this is my question. Or what is the reason that we find in Srimad Bhagavatam the subject matter described in somewhat detail, which apparently don't appear to be Krishna Katha or absolute.
Yeah.
So absolute subject matter apparently, different non-absolute subject matters are discussed also in detail. What's the you want to throw some light on that?
Yeah, Maharaj. I think, like it's Vastavam Vastu, right? Vasta means the reality. If one is not able to move from, the non-real things to the real things, then ultimately his mission will be a failure. The mission will not be successful. So this Vedyam Vastavam Vastu Atra Vastu Shiva. The Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam. You should know what is the Vastava Vastu, because Atra Shivadam, that is Shiva, that is auspicious. That is actually auspicious for us. If you know what is the reality, the real thing, and then you pursue that, then your mission, it is auspicious for everybody, not only for yourself, and ultimately you'll also be successful. But if you are pursuing those things which are not real, temporary things, and your mission will also be, how do you say? Not completely auspicious, because there will be so much hindrances and you will be causing problems to others. Plus, at the same time, the final result is that because these are temporary things, you will be frustrated in your attempts. You will not be able to achieve full success. So this Bhagavatam is talking about everything to show that the absolute truth includes everything. It is all including. Spirituality accommodates everything. Even if you're having that kind of mentality, you're running after these temporary illusory things. Also, you please understand that this is a reality. This is auspicious thing for you. So why don't you please move over to this kind of consciousness? Why don't you upgrade yourself? This is what the Bhagavatam is saying, and it is saying it very nicely, actually. The Bhagavatam is not kind of putting down them, but it is rather pushing them up. This is the thing. Somebody is bad, we like to suppress that person, say, hey, you're nonsense. You just sit quietly in a corner. No, the Bhagavatam is saying is okay. You have some nonsense, you please come. We'll try to somehow reform this nonsense, and we'll make you, with full sense. Complete sense, complete Krishna consciousness. This is my understanding, Maharaj. Please, you can. If there's something you want to add, you can go ahead, Hare Krishna.
My question was that many episodes of Srimad Bhagavatam appear very lockic, it's like mundane, a very graphic description about so many things. So what is the purpose behind it? That was my question. And, some idea from the viewpoint of Maharaj Parikshit and Shukdev Goswami, including very mundane sounding subject matters into this Bhagavatam episode. There's some reason behind it. So one idea comes to mind. Because if we study Srimad Bhagavatam, very many sections are like very mundane. Like think of Sarga, Visarga, the Manvantaras, and different king's katha who are stuck in the material realm like anything. They are engrossed in material sense gratification. Urvashi and all these kings like that. But as we know that they have some connection to Krishna or Krishna's devotees. That much we know. So
Krishna
ultimately,
Sambandha.
yeah, and they all culminate into Krishna Katha. If you study the whole Bhagavatam, they find a place in Krishna Bhakti. Ultimately, there is a purpose. But maybe Parikshit Maharaj is concerned about the people engrossed in material sense gratification, mundane. So then they find that mundane kathas, kings engrossed just like the ordinary people.
Yeah.
So they something sounds very familiar to their mind and liking to their mind. Correct? So much sense gratification, the attachment to the opposite sex, and all these things so detailed described in Bhagavatam. And one wonders, wow, we are studying Bhagavatam and this description. But these are very appealing to the mundane people who are engrossed in sense gratification. And somehow connecting to those mundane topics, they connect to Krishna Katha because it's not all, it's leading to then Krishna Katha. So maybe Parikshit Maharaj is concerned about the well-being of the common masses. And common masses find the attraction in the mundane subject matter description. So Bhagavatam, including means ultimately Bhagavatam is trying to help us to transcend this conditioned state. So everybody is conditioned in this material world. So Bhagavat is so scientifically designed through the questions of Parikshit Maharaj and answers by Sukadeva Goswami. He figured out what the intention of king is. King is not concerned for his well-being. He's concerned about the well-being of all the living entities. So I think that's the bigger picture, or somehow making possible the most conditioned souls to attain the absolute platform through these topics. It looks like. Anyway, thank you very much for addressing that topic. That's why in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Maharaji. We do have 2 more questions for the day. Yeah, Nikhil Rao, please.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad, Neel Madhav Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here we see episode of anger on family members. So just want to ask like so I have actually one question, but it has 3 parts. The first thing is we get anger on our fellow devotees, our seniors sometimes. And, sometimes we practice, we can control up to tolerate up to certain extent, but sometimes we exceeds our we think we have to now I have tolerated so much, now it is not possible more.
It's beyond my control, huh? Yeah.
So in that case, so I have so in that type of situations, I have 3 questions. First thing is
okay.
First part is how actually we have to conduct ourselves, or how we have to from the initial stage, how we have to take our thought process such that this type of situation doesn't arise. And second thing is whenever we get this type of like you told, we have to delay sense gratification, right? So anger is also one of the symptoms of. So if you have some practical means to tell how actually we can control anger, that is second part. And third part is like how to actually increase our tendency of self-control and tolerance. Hare Krishna.
See, everything becomes solved actually when you become a nice devotee of the Lord. All these problems, right? They become solved. The thing is, When our senses are not happy, they are not satisfied, we think that this person is at fault. We have this tendency, my senior is the one to blame. It's like I'm the goody person, and he's making all the mistakes. Even if he's doing it, it's the arrangement of the Lord actually to to bring about some change, to test your tolerance. You can look at it from that angle. So Guru Maharaj used to say, when you're angry, you don't speak. This is the first thing he said. You just walk away from the situation. If it is too unbearable, you just walk away. Then you just go chant some rounds, and then with a cool, calm, collected mind, you think over all the possibilities, and then you come back. If it is something really unbearable, then you go to the higher authority, and then you can present your case. Prabhuji, this is like this, or Maharaj, this is like this. That's why we select a guru. In that situation, how the guru will deal. You should think like that, so that the other person also, he doesn't become offended, and he doesn't become upset. But at the same time, your problem is also solved. With one stone, both the things. Getting two mangoes. That person is also pacified, and you're also satisfied. Both the things should be arranged. So it's a policy of always give and take. Sometimes we have to overlook these things. And that is not easy, because we think I'm right. I'm always right. The other person may have a different perspective, right? So he may be working on that platform, and if we are not able to accommodate that, this is the thing, spirituality means we should be able to accommodate. Even with all those faults also, still we should be able to accommodate. Sometimes you have to elevate yourself like that. This is how Krishna is saying if this person is making progress, if he's tolerating, or if he's giving vent to his anger. Because as soon as you give vent to your anger, immediately you spoil the relation with that person, and everything goes south. And it's not easy to mend that thing later on. So just thinking of that possibility, immediately, you should try to cool down, walk away, or just go chant few rounds and then come back. And just try to forget the thing. There's no easy route, Neil Mother Prabhu. It's very, very difficult, Even big saintly people, they lose their cool sometimes, But then, people who are in position of authority, they do it they chastise us simply sometimes to correct us, So don't always take it in a negative sense. Maybe there is some fault in me also. You try to go a little introspective. But the simple thing, you be a nice devotee, you will automatically you will tolerate. Oh, Krishna is testing me now. Guru and Krishna are testing me. Let's see how I can work out this nicely. So you use all your scientific brain, your devotional brain, and see how you can solve the problem. The snake also goes away, but at the same time, you don't break your stick. No? You understand what I'm saying? You're an educated person, right? So you can understand these things. So it shouldn't be a problem. By the blessings of Guru and Krishna, you can overcome all these obstacles. Okay?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And you can always pray that the other person sees the light. The prayer helps a lot, actually. I've seen that. Sometimes, you go and you sit and pray nicely, my Lord, you please change his mind. You're the one who's giving him the intelligence to act like this and the facility to act. This is really unbearable for me. You please kindly, you give that person, little better consciousness so that I can be saved from this kind of things. It works. It always works.
So thank you, Prabhuji. And Sai Vinay, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Prabhu.
Dhanam Pranam. Just a normal doubt, like I have two doubts. First thing is, these all demigods are materialist or else they are spiritualist? These demigods, normal question.
See, we are all basically souls, right? So we are spiritual beings, but we are in different bodies enjoying different levels of sense gratification. That's all. And the Bhagavatam is saying, you move from this sense gratification to the gratification to gratifying the senses of the Lord. For the demigods, they have ample facility for extensive sense enjoyment. So generally, they tend to forget. It's like you have a lot of money, right? You go to Switzerland or somewhere and you're enjoying, you're just holidaying and partying and enjoying, spending all your money. But even the demigods, they have to fall down from their position. They are not going to be permanently demigods. But if they become devotees, then, pure devotees, then they can go back to the spiritual world. But because they are more favorable to, how do you say, to Krishna consciousness, they accept the authority of the Lord. So you can say they are devotees, but they are not pure devotees. Not all of them are pure devotees. Okay.
Okay. And until one can become pure devotee, they cannot go back to Godhead, right?
Yeah. Even if you have one material desire, I want to eat pizza, you will have to stay back here. You won't believe. I don't know if it was said as a joke, but they say even sannyasis say if there is no pizza in the spiritual world, I will not go there. Sometimes they joke like that, but it's like that. You have some material desire, immediately Krishna will keep you here. What is the problem? You're not very inclined to go there. You cannot give up that one thing. So if there is time, I can tell you one small story.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Make it short, Prabhu. One question is waiting for you.
Oh, there is this devotee who was smoking, right? He was in London and he was carving these deities for Jagannath deities. So one day when Prabhupada came and he saw that, there was a cigarette packet on top of Jagannath's head and this person was smoking there. He was carving those deities. So Prabhupada came and asked him, how long have you been doing this? I've been doing this for so many years, Prabhupada, from childhood. It's not easy to break the habit. So then Prabhupada said, okay, give me all the cigarettes. So he took, and every day he was giving him, like, suppose he was smoking like 2 packets, he used to reduce one by one, like that. And then finally, after so many few months, there was only 1 cigarette left. And Prabhupada asked him, this 1 cigarette is stopping you from becoming Krishna conscious. Do you need this? And then the devotee said, no, Prabhupada. And after that, he never smoked. His whole life, he never smoked. So you think, if that one desire is stopping you from going back to Godhead, would you rather give that desire up, or would you still cling to that desire rather than go back to Godhead? You use your intelligence. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And another thing, small thing, like one should see for the praise from Guru Maharaji, or else what else other things should?
Yes. Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado. Unless the Guru is satisfied, you will never know if Krishna is satisfied or not. There is no chance of you knowing it. God is not going to come and tell you, I'm happy with you. But if Guru says, yes, I'm happy with you, I'm satisfied, it means because Guru is satisfied, Krishna is also satisfied. Because Guru is a representative of Krishna. So you have to satisfy your Guru in all respects. This is a Shastric injunction. Yeah. Okay?
Thank you,
yeah. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, okay. It's
one minute.
Yeah. Jagannath. Yeah. Srikant Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna, Danda Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavad, Srikant Prabhu. I hope you are recovered fully now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just the point raised by His Holiness Queen Maharaj is very right. That the apparently mundane looking things, Maharaji gave a right perspective to it also.
Yeah.
And I have also one more opinion. I mean, thought. Maybe you can correct me. Maharaj can also correct me. Maharaj has been also telling in his classes that from Krishna's point of view, everything is absolute. So even these mundane looking Leela, they are also Leela of Krishna in the sense because Krishna is directing as a director, like how a director directs a movie.
Yeah.
So the direction of this mundane Sansarik Leela, including Srishti and Visarga, Sarga and all these different Leelas are also kind of, in a way, kind of games set by Krishna. So is it that Parikshit Maharaj wants to somehow understand that game Leela, and with that he wants to connect it all the way to actual Krishna Swarup Leela?
No, Parikshit Maharaj, because he knew Krishna, he already knows all these things. But like Maharaj was saying, he was just thinking about the welfare of all the other people who were there. It was not him alone. He is a pure devotee, right? In childhood, inside the womb, we have seen the Lord. But there are so many other sages and other people there, right, who are assembled, that such a saintly king is about to die. So for the welfare of all these people also, and plus, since the Bhagavatam is talking about the absolute truth, and the absolute truth means the absolute, whatever is absolutely good and absolutely bad, both are being presented there. And then, the absolutely transcendental stuff. All the three are there, So all varieties of people, they are pacified. Oh, okay. There is this kind of thing there also. Oh, this is also there. But ultimately, Krishna, we have to go there. This is a reality, So he is broad-minded in that sense that even at the point of death, he is still thinking about others' welfare. This is the sadhu lakshan actually. Pure devotees, they are not so much concerned about themselves, they are more concerned about the fallen souls, like Prahlad Maharaj was saying. I am Krishna conscious, so my Lord, wherever you put me, I am quite happy. But as soon as I see the suffering of these people, my heart becomes, I am very much troubled like that. So this is a nature of a devotee, that even though he is suffering, he still doesn't, he's caring about the suffering of others and how to give relief to them. So this is Parikshit Maharaj's real intention actually. As a sadhu, he wants to do the best thing. Janma sarthakari, his life is successful. Para upakar, this thing, the next part of that, para upakar, this para upakar he wanted. Even while leaving, he wanted to do something for the welfare of everybody. That's such a wonderful devotee.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. And Madan Manohar Prabhuji, we can conclude for the day.
Yeah. Jai Guru Maharaj Srila Sripad ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Wonderful BI devotees ki jai.
Right.
Hare Krishna.
His Grace Madan Manohar Prabhu ki jai. Thank you all for joining. See you all in tomorrow's class. Hare Krishna.